On the eagerly awaited season 13 premiere of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the long simmering hostility between Rasheeda Frost and Jasmine finally erupted in a stunning battle after years of waiting. Rasheeda's decision that she could no longer manage things alone made this episode a watershed in her life. Much of the drama on the show has been around the relationship between Rasheeda and her husband, Kirk Frost, and Jasmine's presence was the catalyst for this, adding fuel to an already raging fire. And treating Jasmine in an unexpected way. Jasmine's involvement in Rasheeda and Kirk's marriage has often been a point of contention in the series. She was notorious for trying to make amends with Kirk and for pushing limits in spite of the damage she had previously done to their marriage. Even though Jasmine's previous attempts to have sex with Kirk had already caused a lot of conflict, she was back at it at the start of season 13. Jasmine's inability to let go of Kirk made her more than just a bother. Rasheeda couldn't ignore Jasmine's persistent rudeness, even as she wanted to avoid conflict. For the most part, Rasheeda had handled things with grace despite having gone through many traumas. She had always tried to be good-natured and to keep her marriage, her business, and her children in the forefront of her mind. Everything Rasheeda had fought so hard to create was in jeopardy because of her actions. Rasheeda realized she had to face the problem head-on and that she couldn't stand by and watch as Jasmine tried to ruin everything she had fought so hard to accomplish. When her tolerance for this continuous drama finally wore thin. Although Rasheeda was always a tough, self-reliant lady, the episode showed that she had reached her breaking point and had no intention of giving up anytime soon. For this reason, Rasheeda didn't decide to approach Jasmine carelessly. When I approached Jasmine, the stillness broke. When Rasheeda and Jasmine faced one another, tension was immediately apparent, and their argument was nothing short of explosive. This was an emotional problem that had been growing for years, not just a dispute or minor brawl. Rasheeda was determined to control Jasmine's story and stop the turmoil she had been making for years. Rasheeda had attempted to control her anger, but now she was letting it all out. She was sick of Jasmine's attempts to undermine her connection with Kirk, her rudeness, and the way Jasmine had continuously destroyed her marriage. When Rasheeda reprimanded Jasmine for her persistent attempts to ruin her family, she didn't mince words and made it plain that she would not tolerate it anymore. Jasmine tried desperately to defend her actions, but Rasheeda would not hear it. Justifications were no longer an option at that moment since her statements were so forceful and unambiguous that there was no space for dissent. Rasheeda couldn't stand Jasmine getting away with it. Emotions were running high, and both women were trading angry words as the fight quickly heated up, but it quickly became apparent that this was about more than just their personal drama. After years of attempting to maintain order and rise above the chaos, Rasheeda was determined not to allow anyone, not even Jasmine, to do so this time. Kirk was not the only one who engaged in this kind of manipulation. Rasheeda now wanted to take back her life and show Jasmine that she could no longer disrupt her tranquility. As the heated argument continued, Rasheeda grew increasingly determined. She was protecting not just her marriage but herself as well. The years she had dedicated to her career, her family, and her own development would not be undone by Jasmine. The struggle wasn't just about defending Kirk or their marriage. For the first time in a long time, Rasheeda was embracing her identity as a woman who wouldn't let anyone walk over her. Rasheeda did not hesitate to advocate for herself. By the end of the altercation, Rasheeda had clearly prevailed. She had finally taken charge of her story and shown Jasmine that she could not ruin Rasheeda's family no matter how hard she tried. This was a turning point, but Rasheeda and Jasmine's conflict may have continued. Rasheeda had shown that she would not let anyone, not even Jasmine. Comes worse, Kirk has been trying to play the victim rather than simply admitting that he made a mistake again. He has been telling anyone who would listen that he has been unhappy in his marriage for a long time, and his affair with Jasmine was a way for him to get away from the issues he was experiencing with Rasheeda at home. He left Rasheeda a few days later, and insiders claim he even sought guidance from his legal team over the next steps in the divorce process. Although Rasheeda made it clear to Kirk in an interview with Essence that she was not leaving and publicly expressed her will to support her family, I think that by staying rather than leaving, she has permitted Kirk to be mistreated. Women haven't been in a relationship for 5 minutes, let alone 20. Therefore, those that talk about that a lot couldn't be in my shoes. Since it's my life at the end of the day and I never let other people's opinions affect me in any way, you can't discuss the decisions I make. I just prayed, but I'm not here to give you advice. Please don't follow or comment on my Instagram if you don't like that. He has completely changed his habits, which is one of the reasons our marriage has endured. It wasn't easy for me during that really dark period, and Kirk didn't know how much he needed Rasheeda back in his life until he was admitted to the hospital. But Jasmine has been telling everyone how unhappy she is with Kirk's decision to bring Rasheeda along. Jasmine is devastated by Kirk's desire to bring Rasheeda back, but as they say, you get what you give. Keep in mind that he is Kirk, and he is still that controlling Jasmine and Rasheeda. According to insiders, Kirk had already talked about getting married to Jasmine after his divorce from Rasheeda was finalized. I'm praying Kirk gets better soon. We're hoping Kirk will agree to his request for Rasheeda to travel with him because it's clear that things between Jasmine and Rasheeda are going to get much worse. The fans have said they don't understand why Jasmine keeps hiding her hands and throwing rocks after the doctor told him that he might not make it. There are consequences when a married man has a child. Jasmine knew that forcing a married guy to take responsibility for something he was allowed to do would result in Rasheeda being able to do much more. If Kirk dies, she will have to live without him. After the girl kicked the dead weight out, you don't need that annoying male to ruin your fun. You are too amazing to be defeated, so love yourself and let go of Kirk. Please leave your comments in the space provided below. When Kirk is sober, he is with Rasheeda. When he is drunk, he is with Jasmine. Do you think Rasheeda should stay by Kirk's side and forgive him for everything he did to her? Or do you believe she has no right to be at the hospital with him since he opted to spend time with Jasmine rather than her?